Did you know that someone actually cooked and ate their way into becoming a millionaire? Yeah? No joke. Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, became famous for his finger-licking good fried chicken. But did you know that he didn't start his journey towards fortune and fame till he was 65 years old? Yep, you heard right. He didn't become successful till he was a cool 65. Before that, he was just a regular guy named Harland Sanders, going through life, trying different jobs and figuring things out. Born in 1890 in a small town in Indiana, young Harland didn't have an easy life. When he was just 6 years old, his dad passed away. Can you imagine being just 6 years old and having to deal with that? It's just as sad to think about. So his mom had to work a lot to take care of the family. That meant that little Harland had to look after his younger siblings, including teaching them how to cook. He literally used to stand on a stool to reach the stove and make food. And all this happened when he was just a kid. Who would have thought that this would one day help him make millions? As Harland grew up, he didn't have a clear plan for his career. Instead, he tried out tons of jobs. He was a farmhand, a streetcar conductor, a steam engine stoker, a ferry boat operator, a railroad fireman, an insurance salesman, and even a lawyer for a bit. But none of these jobs really stuck. It was like he was searching for something, but he didn't know what it was. It wasn't until the 1930s during the Great Depression that things started to change for Harland. That's when he moved to Corbin, Kentucky and started running a Shell service station. Now, Harland was always looking for ways to make extra cash, because during the Great Depression, money was hard to come by. So he started cooking for hungry travelers who stopped by his service station. He cooked them good old country ham, steak and fried chicken and fed them in his living quarters at the back of the station. Word got round that Harland's cooking was amazing, and people started coming from all over to get a taste. So in 1936, Harland opened up a full-fledged restaurant across the street from his gas station. There he started experimenting with different seasonings and ways to cook chicken. And after years of trying, he finally came up with a pressure frying technique that made the chicken cook faster, while keeping it super tender and juicy. He also created a special blend of 11 herbs and spices. And to this day, the recipe is a top-secret treasure locked away in a vault. By the early 1950s, Harland's restaurant was booming. People from miles round would drive just to eat his fried chicken. But then, sometimes life just throws you a curveball. A new highway was built, but it ended up bypassing Corbin entirely. So all the customers who used to pass by his restaurant, they stopped coming. And before you know it, Harland's restaurant was empty. At a time when most folks start thinking about retirement, Harland found himself almost penniless. But you know what? Harland was not the kind of person who gives up easily. Instead of retiring, he decided to take his amazing chicken recipe on the road. His plan was pretty simple. He would give restaurants the recipe for free, and in return, they would pay him a small amount for every chicken they sold using his recipe. With his secret blend of spices and his pressure cooker, Harland hit the road in his old car and knocked on doors of diners, cafes, and roadside restaurants, asking them to give his chicken a try. Now this took a lot of guts, let me tell you, because he slept in his car when he didn't have enough money for a motel. But Harland was determined to succeed. He traveled all over the country, introducing himself to restaurant owners, explaining his recipe and asking them to let him cook a batch of his famous chicken. Can you imagine how many times he got rejected? Well, to be exact, 1,009 times. But you know what? He didn't give up. Not even when people told him no, he kept going. Because deep down he knew that his chicken was so good that eventually people would say yes. And guess what? His persistence paid off. One restaurant owner finally agreed to give his chicken a shot, and the rest, as they say, is history. Word spread like wildfire about the deliciousness of Colonel Sanders' chicken, and soon other restaurants wanted in on the action. This marked the beginning of something truly extraordinary. By 1964, KFC had spread its wings across the United States, and Colonel Sanders, as he was now known, became a familiar face with his white suit, black bow tie, and warm smile. That same year, he sold the company for $2 million, but he kept working as its ambassador, traveling all over the world to promote the brand, meeting new franchisees, shaking hands with customers, and posing for pictures. Even in his later years, he had the energy of a man half his age. Colonel Sanders' story is more than just a tale of fried chicken and success. It is a story about following your dreams no matter how old you are or how many times you fall. He didn't find his fortune and fame until he was 65. Proving that it's never too late to chase your goals. His life was a lesson in perseverance. He didn't give up even when things got tough, and that's why he became a legend. Not just in the world of fried chicken, but in the hearts and minds of people all around the world. Well, that's our story for today. If you liked it, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe so you never miss any of our exciting updates. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.